You cannot just get rid of the your work that they are the crazy people, they are the illiterate people. I'm not able to work with them. They need you. You think that they need you, you can go with them. A lot of things happen in my life. Lot of things. Yeah.
I think the story Noah was the one about when you worked with the father and mother of the girl who had been taken.
That was
to
incident.
Bravo.
That was a small incident that happened. So it's small for me because that kind of scenario faced a lot. So. Actually, I find that girl is a very different situation. She want to go out from it. Otherwise, working with HIV, especially in a prostitute, is a very tricky situation in this country because one point prostitution is prohibited. Prostitution is illegal in this country. Another hand, you are providing health services to them. So and mostly in India, it's very typical. I don't know why. Mistrust and corruption go together in this country. Actually, they never exist together. Either you have mistrust, either you have a corruption. But here, they exist together. I don't know why. So when we go to the community, they thought that government has sent somebody to catch them. You are the police informer or your government informer. So it's very hard to work with them initially. And brothel exists there. Everybody knows there is a red light area. Even police knows. People are visiting there. I know the typical part of the whole prostitution business is that if somebody is found to be prostitute, she will be prosecuted. The client never got prosecuted because by law you cannot prosecute the client. So it's very hard. So I was working in Lucknow at that time with HIV people, especially the LGBT community, because among the Muslim population, I don't know why the reason behind it, but a lot of people are homosexuals, especially men, and they're not bisexual by definition, but they have a family, they have a kids. Apart from that, they have also a life outside that one. So because of social compulsion, they may have this wife, kids, and everything, but their as an inner thought, they are not at all a bisexual or a heterosexual, we call it. Though there is nothing called mainstream. I never use this word. They are normal. Everything is normal as per your perception. So they are basically, by inner thought, they are homosexuals, but they are having the family. So that was toughest in Lucknow. Lucknow is very peculiar for this one. Especially Lucknow, Varanasi, there's one town, Mau in UP. It's kind of situation is there. You find most of the people in this country, they are homosexual by their own instinct, but they are having family. They are having wives, they are having kids. Everything. Because the social norms, we have different kind of things. So I'm not going to blame the social norms because it's there. So at that time I was working with HIV and I find this girl is very in this situation. And she told me that, can you help me to go out from this place? I don't want to be here. When I asked that why you are here? Is it the person who promised me to give a job as domestic help in houses? And they sent 20,000 rupees to my family, and family think that I'm working as a household there. And they got the money and they're satisfied because 20,000 is a big amount, way back to 10 years back, almost 12 years back. So I called it, she gave the address of her family and visited because at that time there was no mobile phone in India. It was very costly. At that time mobile phone was almost, it's only upper class connection. I visited personally there and informed that, do you know where your girl is? He said that she is working on some household kind of thing. Can you come with me? I want to show you where she is working. I will take care of everything, whatever your fare, your stay there, food and everything I take care of. Come with me. Because I don't want to be part of the whole process because my NGO is going to be in a very different situation if I'm going to be part of the whole revolution. But my inner activist always come out when there is something wrong going in. I don't know why. Because of that I have been kicked out by 2-3 jobs. I'm just completing that. So I called it up, the family come with me and it's very hard for me to inform the parent that your girl is in prostitution. Do you know this? That was my biggest challenge, to tell them that, do you know where your girl is? That I told mother first, and then she informed her father, and father refused to come in, to see her in a brothel. I told that, you want your girl back or not? So then I want my girl back, but not in this condition. So that otherwise she might be committed suicide, or she might be another HIV positive person and she's going to die another 10 years, maybe 5 years, depending upon the situation. So the father agreed to come with me. I told him that you are going to, as a client, I giving you 10,000 rupees, because at that time she was young enough to cost more if you want to have her. So because that business demand age and color factor lot. How old you are and what's the color of color of skin you have. That's commercial value in this business. So I gave him 1,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, and told him that go to the brothel owner and told that you need a young girl age between this and this.
What age?
At that time she was almost like 14 or 15. It's my guess. She may be younger than that one. Her body structure told me is almost like she's 12 or 13, not more than that. So father visited there and he handed over the 10,000 rupees to the brothel owner. We call it madam. And suddenly she came out. It was fortunate that the brothel owner had only one girl at that age. So she came out. And she came out and she just told her father, take me out from there. And as soon as they realized that there is something wrong, they come out with their guns. And I asked father to take her out. Take her out, otherwise they can capture yourself also. You're not going to out from this one. If they capture you, you cannot be let out of it. Your body will go out. Nothing will go out there. I know this one. And somebody hit me from this side immediately with an iron rod. I think I fell unconscious after that one. Still there is a lump in here. They hit me with the iron rod and I fell off. I don't know what happened after that. When I wake up, my NGO people were there. And the only fortunate part is that my NGO was very cooperative at that time. Though I have to leave the job after that one. Because they're not them. They paid 100,000 rupees to the brothel owner, the cost of the girl, to let me out from there. And let the girls out from there. So that after that I have to leave the job. So I have no choice. And that biggest fall out of that one, almost 10 people lost the job because of that one. Because then you have to close the office there. No brothel owner going to trust them again. So we have to wrap up the project from there. Anyway, actually just good. Yeah.
How do I word this? So I'm interested in you as like an activist. Like what motivates you to be an activist? But you also didn't touch too personally upon yourself very much. Like you like talking about your stories and your experiences. But what about you, or what about you in relation to people do you think motivates you to become an activist?
My father is responsible for that. He always asks us to go out to talk to the people, talk to the work with the people. And he's still working with the people. He's still helping the intensionists, especially farmers, to install the cost-effective tubers in their own fields to irrigate the field. So that was a basic motive behind it. But he's a moderate person, he's not activist kind of thing. I got into this business because of my old friend circle. My friends are still there doing the same crazy stuff. I'm a little bit moderate right now. They're still crazy. And during colleges we have started this one. We started to teach the kids who are working in the tea shops in our college area. And we started an NGO, not a registered NGO, kind of a group of students who can come out to teach the kids. And their own sites, not to bring them in the school. Just like 4 or 5 tea shops are there in one locality. We told shop owner that 2 are people going to work for you, don't worry, let them out to have education there. So we work at the tea shops. We are not going to disturb anything. So we work as a worker there to clean the glasses, serve the tea, and the kids supposed to go to the schools. That was the story I started with. And we do a lot of things. Anything happen in our campus, we have to criticize the vice chancellor, our president, or often I have been 2 times suspended by the university because of that one, because we have criticized our president a lot. And we do a lot of stuff, like we never go directly to them. We always give our message through street plays, through our dramas, through our poetry. We never do that one. That's what our motive to do one. And because of our street plays, we have been arrested by 2 times, almost beaten by like anything by police. Still during when we have a seasonal change, still my legs hurts a lot. The police has beaten a lot here, so I'm still feeling pain sometimes during seasonal change. But we have to do it. Somebody has to say something wrong. If wrong is going on, you have to say. Everybody cannot be moderate. What? Yeah,
What is one of the happiest moments you've had with your family? Your wife and son.
when my son was born. And he was born in a very activist mode too. So what happened is that almost for any maternal health, those who are working there, they know it. After 7 days of expected date of delivery, we call it EDD, expected date of delivery. After 7 days, you have to go for either induction or cesarean section, because if you're not more than 7 days, you can wait for the baby to come out. So, and she was induced by the gynecologist that there in Ajmer, and suddenly the fetus shows the sign of depression, sign of distress, heartbeat slow down. So she said that you go for the cesarean section right now, within an hour we have to go for it. So, and cesarean section work can be done at medical college level in Ajmer, because they don't have, district hospital don't have an operation theatre. So we have to shift I have to shift my wife to the medical college, and before shifting there, all junior doctors, residents, was declared a strike, because some police has beaten the doctors in Jodhpur, another district, and to show the kind of solidarity with them, protest against this beating, they declared a strike. So no doctor was there in the hospital, only, and my boss was very passionate about it. He was a very good guy. So he called in almost 80 doctors from the field, those who are working at PSC, CSC level, for my wife, get her operated. So next 3 days it was a strike. Nobody was in hospital except 3-4 doctors, which are recruited by the government to run the hospital. So he was born there. So I was filling almost all formalities, and nurse come to me and inform me that Abhijit, you have a son now. So still she was not admitted in the hospital. Before that she delivered. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about your wife and son. Why don't we rewind? And so, talk about how you met your wife, through the newspaper or not, and just talk about her and about her and your son, like what they're like.
Okay, so my wife and my son are both like Tom and Jerry. They want to live together, but they are always fighting to each other.